Thank you, Acting Deputy President. Well, the government committed $7.5 million to an oxygenation trial. It was a pilot project. A barge they call the Wombat, which is owned by Tassal and leased to the joint venture at a profit. So Tassal's profiting from this taxpayer-funded trial. Senator Urquhart, you should really listen to what I've got to say, because it's going to involve.
Point of order, Senator Whish-Wilson. Please don't cast aspersions on why senators are leaving the chamber. Please continue.
Thank you, Acting Deputy President. So, Labor's committed $7.5 million to this trial. That's looking at initially whether pumping oxygen into Macquarie Harbour, the last known home of the Maugean skate, a critically endangered species, estimated to be between 40 and 120 adults left in the wild. They've committed this money to firstly see if putting oxygen into the harbour does harm. Now, I asked the FRDC, who was the federal body who's funded this, for a copy of the joint venture details and project. Now, they weren't able to provide that to me, but what they did provide was the timeline for the expenditure and the milestones for Macquarie Harbour on what they were trying to achieve. So here's the rub. Here's the really important part. The project is a scientific study, a pilot project, to test whether oxygen being pumped into Macquarie Harbour will do harm or whether it will help. And it doesn't finish until the 31st of October next year. So the $7.5 million, the timetable, the milestones, culminate in a final report written by scientists, funded by the taxpayer. But here you have the Australian Labor Party swing into Tasmania and offer $28 million to some of the most profitable companies that operate in Australia, multinationals, foreign-owned, that pay no tax. Give them $28 million to continue the oxygenation project and to expand it. And they haven't even got their final report. It's 12 months away. Why is the Labor Party committing taxpayer funds to a scientific project that's a year away from reporting? That's the question. And I know the answer to that. It's because they want to get Senator Urquhart elected in Braddon. So 2 hours after the Prime Minister committed $28 million, they launched Senator Urquhart's run for the lower house in Braddon. And she quite openly said, as she did today, that this money for the salmon industry is why you need to vote for Labor. Couldn't be a clearer example of institutional corruption. Institutional corruption. Cronyism. State capture, where a government is running this program for the salmon industry, giving them taxpayer funds and trying to get a candidate elected. It really is disgusting. And to see Senator Urquhart in here today, the things she was saying about Labor is the biggest champion for the salmon industry, what about the Maugean skate? What about a creature that's about to go critically extinct, according to all the best science? Well, guess what we're going to do? We're going to turn Macquarie Harbour, the last known home of the skate, on the edge of a World Heritage Area, into a giant aerated fish tank. And we're breeding skates, and I've been to see the breeding program. It's been successful because they are giving these skates nutrients and a diet they don't get in the wild. We've got no idea whether we can reintroduce them in the wild. How could you if their last known home is polluted? That bit hasn't even been solved yet. So we're talking about the extinction of a species here. And it's all about politics. This is extinction politics. So Senator Duniam, through you, Chair, the Greens would have been very happy to have supported a Senate inquiry looking at this issue. But as you were told, we couldn't support these terms of reference, where it is clearly a political stunt, you guys trying to see who's got the biggest muscles in supporting the salmon industry. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know, maybe I'm missing something after the years I've spent in politics, but I don't get the politics of this for either side. There's not a large industry on the west coast of Tasmania. Most Tasmanians don't support the salmon industry. There are a lot of voters in Braddon that support, for example, people like Craig Garland, who don't support the salmon industry. Right around the state, Tasmanians are worried there's about to be a massive rally of all sorts of people from all walks of life coming out on. By the way, if anyone wants to go and attend, Clifton Beach, 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, a massive rally against salmon farming at the mouth of the Derwent. Like, what is the politics of this? Why are you giving $28 million of taxpayer money to the salmon industry that don't need it? They're the ones polluting Macquarie Harbour, pushing a species to extinction. Why don't they pay for their bloody mess? Why does the Australian taxpayer have to do this? Sorry, I forgot. So you can get a candidate elected in Braddon. That's it. This is one of the worst cases. You could call it pork barrelling, you could call it corruption, I don't care what you call it, but it is wrong. It is morally repugnant that you could so brazenly launch money for a project that's 12 months away from even reporting whether it works. 12 months away. What about the science? What about the other thing we haven't talked about today? Minister Plibersek, I really do feel sorry for her on many levels. She's got a court case before her right now and a proposition from the Threatened Species Scientific Committee to upgrade the skate from endangered to critically endangered. And all the data that they've provided, and these are some of the best experts in the world, have said there's 40 to 120 adults left in the wild, and salmon is a catastrophic risk, to use their language, to the future of the skate. Minister Plibersek's over here hoping to make an independent decision on uplisting the skate to critically endangered, or whether what's happened in Macquarie Harbour is a controlled action under federal law and needs to be reassessed. And Mr Albanese and Senator Urquhart have completely ridden over the top of Minister Plibersek and her department by saying, here's $28 million, this is an election issue. A live election issue. How can she possibly make a decision based on science that might say you can't farm salmon in Macquarie Harbour anymore because this species will go extinct? How can she do that when you've just committed $28 million? Honestly, it is appalling. And to see everyone laughing about it in here today, it makes my blood boil. We are talking about the extinction of a species. How many jobs is the extinction of a species worth to you senators? How much money is it worth? I don't have an answer to that question. And it is turning out to be the great moral question of our time. But according to the Labor Party, it's $28 million and a seat in Braddon. Seriously. I know there are good people in the Labor Party that do care about nature and the environment, and it's possible there are some in the chamber right now. You really need to look at this and scrutinise this expenditure by the Prime Minister a few weeks ago. We certainly will be. It is next level. Next level. And so, Senator Duniam, if you want to get up a Senate inquiry into this decision, then come and talk to us. Keep your terms of reference neutral. Let's go down to Tasmania. Let's spend time with the salmon industry. Let's spend time with the environment groups. Let's go to Macquarie Harbour. Let's look at this properly. And let's do our job as a Senate. And let's look at this filthy $28 million election commitment by the Albanese Government to prop up foreign-owned multinationals that don't pay any tax. How on earth can the Liberal Party be supporting a government giving money to these foreign-owned multinationals that are pushing a species to the brink of extinction? Undermining the scientists and the science that's already been put out, spending their money, no doubt donating to political parties, who knows where it ends. I would love to scrutinise that and do my job as a senator with the full powers of the Senate. So I ask you, Senator Duniam, through you, Chair, bring back new terms of reference. Keep it neutral. Well, we've still got next year, Senator. I'll take that interjection. I hope we asked you to do this yesterday, but I would dearly love to have an inquiry into this, because I think, to finish it off, there is something fishy going on here, and it stinks.